Mahal kita, inay.
Love you, Mom. Sit still or you might fall. Oh, this kid. Didn't your teacher scold you? Didn't you get caught in the rain? Was your allowance enough? Your back might be damp. Don't forget to put a towel under your shirt, okay? If you're gonna play with your brother and sister, don't go too far away. Don't climb up trees or you might fall and sprain something. Come home before sunset. These are the things I've always heard from Minai ever since the beginning. I have this feeling that she says a lot of things, but they're all the same anyway.
Huwag kang malikot, baka mahulog ka. Ang batang ito talaga. Hindi ka ba pinapagalitan ng teacher mo? Hindi ka ba naulanan? Hindi ba kinulang ang baon mo? Ang likod mo, baka basa. Huwag mong kalilimutan maglagay ng sapin, ha? Oh, kung maglalaro kayo ng mga kapatid mo, huwag kayong lalayo. Huwag kayong aakyat sa puno at baka mahulog kayo at mapilayan. Bago magtakip silim ay umuwi na kayo. Ang mga ito ang lagi kong naririnig mula kay inay noon pa man. Pakiwari ko, marami siyang sinasabi na halos pare-pareho lang naman.
Inai says that when I was born, she got scared when she saw me. I was so small, she says. I was only as big as a liter-sized soft drink bottle. All the same, she said she had a difficult time giving birth to me. That's why I'm so careful with that child, is what I often hear her say whenever she and Elaine Corinne and Elaine Marcy talk about me. And every time her friends see me, they always pinch my cheeks. So cute, they say. Ouch! As a result, my cheeks feel sore all the time.
Sabi ni inay nang ipinanganak niya ako, natakot siya pagkakita niya sa akin. Napakaliit ko raw kasi nilaki ko lamang daw ang 1 litro ng soft drink. Gayunpaman ay nahirapan daw siya nang iluwal niya ako. Kaya ingat na ingat ako sa batang iyan. Ang lagi kong naririnig na sinasabi niya tuwing pinag-uusapan nila ako ni Aling Coring at Aling Rosie. At sa tuwing makikita ako ng mga kakwentuhan niya, laging pinipisil nila ang mga pisngi ko. Cute na cute daw ako. Aray! Tuloy laging sumasakit ang pisngi ko.
Tatai inherited a mango farm. This is where our livelihood comes from. I'm the eldest child. After me comes Melinda and Koikoy. Ina is the first to wake up in the morning to make breakfast and pack lunches for me and Tatai. Before I leave for school, Ina pulls out my allowance from the pocket of her shift dress. Take care, Teresa. Be cautious when you cross the street.
May taniman ng manggang namana ang tatay. Doon nanggagaling ang aming ikinabubuhay. Ako ang panganay, sina Melinda at Kokoy ang sumunod sa akin. Sa umaga'y nauuna si inay sa paggising para magluto ng almusal at ng baon namin ni tatay. Bago ako umalis patungo sa aming paaralan, uhugot ng perang baon si inay sa bulsa ng kanyang duster. Mag-ingat ka, Teresa. Dahan-dahan sa pagtawid sa kalsada.
Come home from school, Ina is always there to meet me. How are you? Did you have trouble with your lessons? Didn't you get caught in rain? Was your allowance enough? She has a lot of questions, the same ones over and over again. Sometimes I ask myself, doesn't Ina have anything else to say? I think my ears are starting to hurt from the constant reminders and questions.
Pag-uwi ko galing eskwelahan, nakasalubong na sa akin si inay. Kumusta ka na? Hindi ka nahihirapan sa leksyon mo? Hindi ka ba naulanan? Nagkasya ba ang baon mo? Marami siyang mga tanong pa ulit-ulit. Minsan itatanong ko sa aking sarili, wala na ba siyang ibang sasabihin? Parang sumasakit na ang tenga ko, paulit-ulit na ang bilin at mga tanong.
Few moments after I've changed into my house clothes, I go off to play with my brother and sister near the meadow. You be careful, don't climb up the trees. There might be snakes. Teresa, you're older than they are. Look after your brother and sister. And I will keep saying that over and over again too. So before you step out of the house, I memorize everything she has to say.
Ilang sandali lamang pagkatapos kong makapagbihis na ng pambahay, makikipaglaro na ako sa aking 2 kapatid sa may parang. Mag-ingat kayo, huwag kayong aakyat sa puno, baka may mga ahas. Teresa, ikaw ang nakakatanda, huwag mong pababayaan ang mga kapatid mo. Paulit-ulit ding sasabihin iyon ni inay. Kaya bago kami makalabas ng bahay, kabisado ko na ang lahat ng sasabihin niya.
Every time any of us get sick, Inai drops all of her work. She goes and talks to my Uncle Yoyon, who also happens to be our neighbor. She'll have him take charge of bringing the ducks to the riverside and feeding them, and of feeding the pigs as well. And I won't leave us by ourselves.
Pero sa tuwing magkakasakit ang kahit na sino sa aming mga magkakapatid, hihinto si inay sa lahat ng kaniyang gawain. Kakausapin niya si Tiyo Yoyong na kapitbahay rin namin. Dito niya ipapagawa ang pagdadala ng mga pato sa tabing ilog at pagpapakain sa mga ito at pagpapakain na rin sa aming mga baboy. Hindi kami iniiwan ni inay.
After a checkup at the center, she'll pick some oranges and pomelos from the backyard. Eat these to bring down your fever. That's what she always says. And then she sponges us with lukewarm water. Lays a dry towel on our backs, gives us a hug, and says to us we can sweat out the fever. True enough, when I start to sweat, my high temperature subsides.
Pagkatapos kami ipa-check up sa center, ipamimitas niya kami ng dalandan at suha sa likod ng bahay. Heto ang kainin mo para mawala kaagad ang lagnat mo. Iyon ang lagi niyang sinasabi at saka hihilamusan niya kami ng maligamgam na tubig. Maglalagay ng sapin sa aming mga likod at saka yayakap sa amin para daw pagpawisan kami. Oo nga, at kapag pinagpawisan na ako, nawawala ang init sa aking katawan.
Tata always hands the money he earns from the mango farm to Inai. Sometimes she takes me along the nearest bank and deposits some of the money there. I need to save up for your schooling. You want to become a nurse, don't you? She looks at me closely as she says it.
Ang pera naman na kinikita ni tatay sa manggahan ay laging iniaabot nito kay inay. Minsan, sinasama niya ako sa pinakamalapit na bangko at doon niya inilalagay ang ibang pera. Kailangan mag-ipon ako para sa papaaral sa iyo. Di ba gusto mo maging nurse? Matapang na nakatingin siya sa akin habang sinasabi niya iyon.
Afterwards, we go to the market. She'll get our meat, chicken, and fish. She tells me not to start pulling family around because she budgets some money on the more important things like food, household expenses, and my education. She says her expenses will get bigger when Melinda starts going to school.
Pagkatapos ay pupunta kami sa palengke. Mga karne, manok at isda ang kanyang bibilihin. Huwag daw ako magtuturo ng kung ano-ano dahil pinagkakasya niya ang pera sa mas mahalagang bagay gaya ng pagkain, ibang gastusin sa bahay at sa aking pag-aaral. Madaragdagan pa raw ang gastos niya kapag tumuntong na sa pag-aaral si Melinda.
One day at school, I asked my classmate Amira why she was always absent and why she always has no allowance. She told me about her mother. She said she was sick. The doctor said it was a stroke. Stroke? I don't understand. So I wanted my teacher to ask what kind of disease Almira's mother had. Teresa, a stroke is a terrible illness. I've heard that Almira's mother can no longer speak. And she doesn't recognize people anymore. She can't recognize even Almira. Is that possible?
Isang araw sa aming paaralan, tinanong ko ang aking kaklase, si Almira, kung bakit lagi siyang lumiliban sa klase at kung bakit lagi siyang walang baon. Nagkwento siya tungkol sa kanyang nanay. May sakit daw ang nanay niya. Sabi ng doktor, stroke daw. Stroke? Hindi ko maintindihan iyon kaya nilapitan ko ang aking teacher upang itanong kung ano ang sakit ng nanay ni Almira. Teresa, ang stroke ay isang malubhang sakit. Ang balita ko, hindi na makakapagsalita ang nanay ni Almira. At hindi na rin siya nakakakilala ng mga tao, pati si Almira hindi na rin niya nakikilala. Pwede ba yun?
One morning when I went to school, I was shocked that Almira was bidding us goodbye. She told us that her parents couldn't afford to send her to school anymore. My mother probably won't get well. In her condition, she might not live much longer. That's what the doctor says.
Nagulat ako nang isang umaga sa pagpasok ko sa eskwelahan ay nagpaalam na nasa amin si Almira. Hindi na raw siya kayang paaralin ng kanyang mga magulang. Mahirap na raw ang gumaling ang aking inay sa kanyang kalagayan. Baka umikli na ang kanyang buhay. Iyon ang sabi ng doktor.
Amongst his classmates, Almira is the best at writing poetry. She recited a poem before she said goodbye to the class. Since childhood, Inai has stayed close to me. She's always with me through hardship and pain. From morning till night, she's always busy with work. At home, she never lets us out of her sight. I'm speaking to her now, and I hope she hears how grateful I am to her, not only for bringing me up, but for the care and protection that cannot be matched by anyone else on earth. I love you, Inai. Now said it at last, but she's just like a statue, and her glaze is blank. Say this to my classmates, my playmates, and my friends. Tell them how much you love them as often as you can. Takes them less than a minute to say a lot. Some agree. A lot of Inai.
Sa aming magkakaklase, si Almira ang pinakamahusay gumawa ng tula. Bumigkas siya ng tula bago magpaalam sa klase. Mula pagkabata, si Inay na ang kasiping. Sa hirap at pasakit, siya ang laging kapiling. Mula umaga hanggang gabi, abala sa mga gawain. Sa bahay, sa amin ay laging nakatingin. Ngayoy akin siyang kinakausap. Sana ako'y kanyang dinggin. Sa aking pasasalamat, di lamang sa pagpapalaki sa akin, sa pag-aaruga at kalingang hindi mapantayan ng kahit na sino sa mundong ibabaw. Mahal kita, Inay, ngayon nasabi ko rin, ngunit tila siya estatwa at blanko ang tingin. Sa mga kaklase, kalaro ko't kaibigan, sabihin ninyo lagi kung gaano nyo sila kamahal. Wala pang isang minuto ito'y kayang bigkasin. Naisip ko bigla si Inay.
Got home, I quickly went to see Inai. She smiled at me and momentarily stopped feeding the ducks. How are you, Anak? Didn't your teacher scold you? Was there allowance and I didn't let Inai finish what she was saying. I put my arms around her thighs and hugged them tight. I whispered, love you, Inai. Inai stepped down so that our faces were level with one another. Anak. I love you, Inai, I tried to say it clearly, and I gulped. Did you hear it? Why was I embarrassed? My mother gently placed her calloused hands on my cheeks. I saw a sparkle in her eye. She suddenly smiled. In a few moments that it took to say the words, I knew that Inai felt absolutely helpless.
Pag-uwi ko sa bahay ay sumalubong agad sa akin si Inay. Ngumiti siya at huminto sa pagpapakain ng mga itik. Kumusta ka, anak? Hindi ka ba pinagalitan ng teacher mo? Nagkasya ba ang baon mo? Hindi ko na pinatapos ang sinabi ni Inay. Niyakap ko ang kanyang dalawang hita ng mahigpit. Umulong ako. Mahal kita, Inay. Yumuko si Inay upang pagpantay ang aming mga mukha. Anak, mahal kita, Inay. Sinubukan kong linawin iyon at ako'y napalunok. Narinig ba niya? Bakit tila ako nahihiya? Dumampi ang makapal na palad ng aking inay sa aking pagkabilang pisngi. May nakita akong kislap sa kanyang mga mata. Siya'y ngumiti. Sa ilang saglit lamang na pagsambit niya na iyon, alam kong lubos na kaligayahan ang nadama ni Inay.
Since then, I haven't wasted any opportunity to say, I love you, Inai. A moment is all you need, and it's really easier after all. Sit still and might fall. Oh, this kid. Don't your teacher scold you? Didn't you? Now, from reminders and questions are like music to my ears.
Mula noon, hindi na ako nagsasayang ng pagkakataon para sabihin, mahal kita, Inay. Ilang sandali lang naman ang kailangan at madali lamang pala. Huwag kang malikot, baka mahulog ka. Ang batang ito talaga. Hindi ka ba pinapagalitan ng teacher mo? Hindi ka ba ngayon mistulang musika na ang mga bilin at tanong niya sa akin? The end. Mahal kita, Inay.
I'm not doing it.